right, welcome to Sports Tonight. Coming up, the complete World Cup picture. Now there's only one game to go. Let's take a look at what's ahead.
Halfway to Carey! How good was that?
Tonight, we'll heed the World Cup warning from Eddie Jones. The best is yet to come from the Wallabies.
We haven't achieved what we want to achieve. There's no way this side play as well as they can.
We'll update the injury list.
And this is not looking good.
Relive the magic of that superb semi-final.
Thank you very much.
And run the rule over Australia's final opponent.
Wilkinson, all 24. Wilkinson 24, France 7.
Also, victory for the Aussie Rugby League team. The Kangaroos clinching the Ashes series against Great Britain.
Kimmorley, magnificent.
Plus, your comprehensive coverage of the day's other sport. Golf, basketball, soccer, cricket and rally. With Cody Crocker wrapping up the Australian Championship.
Boy, oh boy, this is for the guys at Possum. We did it.
This is Sports Tonight. England will play Australia in the World Cup final after literally booting France out of the tournament in the semi-finals tonight. Johnny Wilkinson scored all of England's points to set up a rematch of the 1991 final against the Wallabies.
There was no doubting the British pride. There was no doubting the will of the French. And there was no doubting the boot of Johnny Wilkinson to get the favourites off to a dream start.
Now on his right foot. He has done it. First points for England.
The French counter was swift. Serge Betsen sliding for the first try.
Betsen held it brilliantly. Serge Betsen!
The normally disciplined British side were causing too many mistakes, although within shooting range, the normally faultless Frederic Michalak could not make them pay.
But he's pushed it out to the right.
But it was another boot that caused the most hurt, Christophe Dominici tripping Jason Robinson, leaving the French a man down. But the only points the Brits could get before half-time was courtesy of Johnny Wilkinson's kicking.
Distance not a problem.
There was no doubting Wilkinson was the target.
He was flat, absolutely cream, still lying flat on his face, sucking in the big ones. He got a beauty.
And Betsen paid for the crime. 10 in the bin, another 3 points for England, as the French went about ruining their World Cup chances with mistake after mistake. The English went about murdering the concept of running rugby. The second half resembling nothing more than a chess match, and Johnny Wilkinson had all the moves.
Sizing up another drop goal. That's a hat-trick.
Prince Harry's happy. His side winners 24-7 without scoring a try, and will now attempt to do what they couldn't do 12 years ago, beat Australia in the World Cup final.
1991, that was the last time the English made the final. They lost that 12-6, but no doubt they'll be scoring more points this time around if Johnny Wilkinson's on fire in points tonight. And a warning for the English even before the game tonight from Australian coach Eddie Jones, who reckons the Wallabies' best is still to come. Last night it was an incredible performance from a team that was simply under the pump to perform, and they did, beating the All Blacks by 12 points in a near flawless display.
The referee looks at the clock. He blows his whistle.
A full-time whistle that silenced the Knockers, stunned the rugby world and sent the country of New Zealand into a state of mourning.
I've cried for the last hour.
It wasn't just the win, it was the manner of the victory. A ruthless display of running rugby and brick wall defence that left the tournament favourites without an answer, and an ominous warning from Eddie Jones, the best is yet to come.
You know, we played some reasonable rugby last night in patches, good enough to win the game, good enough to win the contest for 80 minutes, but our intention firmly is to improve for next week.
The moment that turned the match, Carlos Spencer's pass that found Sterling Mortlock.
Intercepted. Mortlock. They are going to make hard work of it. Rokitoko's chasing, but he can give up. Mortlock gets the first try.
The shell-shocked All Blacks never recovered, the ghosts of past World Cup failures coming back to haunt them. The Chokers tag a label they'll have to live with for another 4 years.
Mistake from the number 11.
A nation now looking for scapegoats.
No hint of handing in my resignation or anything like that. I love coaching and I'll leave it at that.
The squad left to face the music on their return to Melbourne, still searching for answers as to what went wrong.
There's a real sort of sombre mood in the team at the moment. You know, there's a lot of hurt and players
today are really feeling it.
The main concern for the Wallabies, a serious neck injury to prop Ben Darwin. Play halted for 8 minutes when he lost feeling in his arms and legs. X-rays today confirmed a damaged disc that may require surgery. He should make a full recovery but is definitely out of the final. Sterling Mortlock will be available. He trained today after being substituted late in the game with leg cramps. The Wallabies received plenty of support on the streets of Sydney. In the cold light of morning, they are determined they haven't played their final one game early.
What we tried to do was enjoy the victory, but, you know, our minds are set on next week. You know, we know we haven't achieved what we wanted to achieve. There's no way this side has played as well as they can.
If the Wallabies can do the job against either England or France, it will be an historic win. No team has successfully defended the World Cup.
And it's been a double celebration for Australia overnight, with the Kangaroos retaining the Ashes after beating Great Britain in the second Rugby League Test. A field goal by man of the match, Brett Kimmorley, gave Australia the edge in the dying minutes, the Aussies scoring a 23-20 victory.
Primed for their best chance to win the Ashes in 30 years, Great Britain came out firing. Adrian Morley's reflex pass hitting Terry Newton perfectly. Brett Kimmorley serving up the immediate answer, Darren Lockyer levelling the scores.
Another stab kick through, that's for Lockyer, that's a try.
Great Britain's kicking game unsettling the Kangaroos' defence, Chris Radlinski pouncing.
Radlinski's chasing the kick ahead by Deacon, Radlinski will score!
And awarded the try despite appearing to be offside. Some uncharacteristic errors began creeping into the Australian game.
Australia are wobbling.
Sivanasiva picking the wrong place to get the fumbles. Gary Connolly capitalising with his first test try. The Brits up 20-8.
Great ball! Connolly!
Craig Fitzgibbon ensured Australia went to the break. Kimmorley keeping it flowing in the second half. The Kangaroos back to within 2 points.
Kimmorley! Magnificent!
Enforcer Adrian Morley was again put on report for collecting Matt Singh, a lopsided penalty count frustrating the home side.
Every 50-50 is going their way.
As was Brett Kimmorley, breaking a 20-all deadlock.
And this man, Kimmorley, is becoming a nuisance.
Great Britain running out of steam, unable to score in the second half, Australia retaining the Ashes.
Mate, we come over with a point to prove, you know, a few injuries in Australia, and a lot of us had a chance to play at this level, and I think we all grabbed it really well.
This is Sports Tonight. We'll take a break, come back with more.
Next, the final of the year. Roger Federer books a spot against Andre Agassi at the season-ending Masters Cup. Also, the Vicks on target in the ING Cup.
And Matthew Elliott smacks him.
And Cody Crocker wins the Australian Rally Championship.
Boy, oh boy, this is for the guys in Boston. We did it.
Welcome back to Sports Tonight in the ING Cup, and with 7 regular Queenslanders either injured or on national duties, Victoria had a great chance today to beat the Bulls for the 3rd time in 2 weeks, and they made sure they took advantage.
Into the attack.
It was the first ball of Andrew McDonald's spell that removed Daniel Payne. A breakthrough getting rid of one of the danger men but leaving another. Steve Farrell producing the long handle and the most valuable catch of the day.
Dear me, and take it.
Well, that's $600. He might want to get a haircut too.
Farrell fell to the bowling of Mick Lewis a short time later, but the Bulls were still on track for a big score, with Victorian nemesis Martin Love fresh from a Pura Cup triple century. The skipper looked impregnable until a moment of brilliance from Jonathan Moss.
He's got him. That's brilliant fielding.
From there, the scoring became difficult. The Bulls would finish on 212 thanks to a Damien McKenzie 6 that almost earned him 50 grand. With the wicket slowing through the day, Victoria wanted to make inroads early and Matthew Elliott obliged.
And Matthew Elliott smacks him.
John Moss was the designated slugger in the Bushrangers lineup and soon showed why. Not once but twice clearing the boundary to an eager crowd waiting in the stands.
That could be well caught.
The stand was broken with the departure of Moss. Elliott followed soon after when Stuart Law was introduced to the attack. The bonus point fell out of reach, but with Brad Hodge improvising, the result was never in doubt.
Travelled all the way.
2 wins from 3 starts now in the ING Cup for the Vicks. Elliott and man of the match John Moss laid the foundations. Brad Hodge finished unbeaten to continue his good start to the summer. And Australia has continued its preparations for the Tri-Series final against India on Tuesday. Since losing to the hosts in their opening match of the tournament, the Aussies have won 5 straight games. They can't wait for this one.
And we come here really as underdogs, and we've made it to the final, and we're looking forward to this challenge now. So it's a new challenge for us.
India earned a spot in the final with a crushing 145-run win over New Zealand overnight. Sachin Tendulkar was unstoppable.
All the way. What a lovely stroke that was off the blade of the little champion.
The ground. Tendulkar and opening partner Virender Sehwag belted centuries as the Indians smashed 5 for 353 from their 50 overs. In reply, the Kiwis were no match, all out for 208 in the 47th over. And India tonight has named its 16-man test squad for the Tour of Australia. The big surprise, young left-handed batsman Yuvraj Singh left out in favour of Satagopan Ramesh. The Indians will play 4 tests, the first starting on December 4. Subaru driver Cody Crocker has paid tribute to the late Possum born after wrapping up the Australian Rally Championship in the final round of the series in Tasmania. Crocker and navigator Greg Folletta taking the title for the first time.
Subaru's Cody Crocker had reason to celebrate even before the final day of Safari Tasmania started. Regardless of what happened today, Crocker and navigator Greg Folletta would be crowned winners of the Australian Rally Championship. In his moment of triumph, Crocker remembered the late Possum born.
Oh my God, it's obviously unofficial. We've got to finish the event and in Possum, we did it.
After winning 4 stages in Heat 1 yesterday and with the championship wrapped up, Crocker and Folletta went winless today and finished 3rd overall for the weekend. The standout performer was Mitsubishi's Flying Finn Juha Kangas.
Crest short K left 70 down to